You're on the mic with ST at Fight Fan Corner. Anthony Joshua, Jarrell Miller. Who you guys got and why?
Well, we're heading out there on the 31st of May. I think Joshua is definitely going to win the fight. To be honest with you, if the fight had been at Wembley Stadium or Principality or somewhere like that, I probably wouldn't have even gone to the fight. I thought it was pretty much a done deal. The only reason we're really going out is to see what the British fans bring to New York City, to see what MSG's like when the British fans go out there and light it up. So we're heading out there for that reason, and pretty much that reason only, to be honest. I think it's going to be I think within 7 rounds, I think Miller gets done. I think Miller gets done by AJ. I think it's no problem. And then we have to get on to the business of AJ Wilder, business of AJ Fury. Let's talk about those proper fights, do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, this is a great trip, but I think this is going to be a warm-up fight, do you know what I mean?
It's going to be a big stepping point for the heavyweight division, no doubt about it. AJ's making his mark in America. It's going to be a big step for British boxing. And with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, I know the fight may not happen, it may happen, you know, we don't know what way things are going to go. But I mean, the way it's looking, the future of heavyweight boxing is bright, that is for sure.
So you just mentioned Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Who you got out of the top 3? Out of the 3, who's your number 1?
So for me, I mean, I went Dusseldorf when Fury beat Klitschko, and that was obviously when everyone thinks that the belts properly changed hands and, you know, boxing properly switched to the heavyweight style. But I don't really see it like that. Like, fair enough, obviously Fury did an amazing job that night, but I think there was a more motivated, a fitter Klitschko for the Joshua fight. I don't think anyone can really deny that. You know, Klitschko wanted to win that fight more than he wanted to beat Fury at the time. So, in my opinion, it's all kind of square. I think everybody knows that Fury beat Wilder. I think everybody can see that. Like, despite the 2 knockdowns, everyone knows that Fury got the better of that fight. I think at the moment, Fury and Joshua are the 2 leads of that division. I think Wilder Brazil is not a good fight. I don't really think that's what people want to see. I think Dillian Whyte, a Brazil fight, is probably what people wanted to see in order to get that Wilder fight. But anyway, I think we'll see what happens. But in my opinion, what should have happened was a Fury-Wilder rematch and the Brazil-Whyte fight and the winners fight. I think that would have been better. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Tyson Fury for me. I mean, the way that man has come back from the edge of despair is just unreal. It's some story, you know, to come back from the brink of suicide. I mean, he is fighting for something bigger than titles. You know, like he said, he's the lineal champ. Nothing will compare to that. No title will compare to that. Joshua Fury has to happen. It's for the good of British boxing. It's for good of the heavyweight division. It has to happen at some point. I want to see it. Everybody wants to see it. It will be the biggest fight ever. It will be the biggest fight ever.
So if that fight happens, you got Tyson Fury?
I have Tyson Fury.
I've got Fury on points, yeah.
Tyson Fury on points.
So right now you think Tyson Fury is the uncrowned champ?
Yes. Yes.
I think Tyson Fury has the potential to be the out-and-out champ. Right now, nobody can dispute what Joshua has done. Right now, Joshua has beaten the best opponents. He's done everything that's set in front of him. You know, he's only had like 22 fights, and on his 20th, he beat Klitschko. Like, that's unbelievable. Now, Fury, in my opinion, has the ability to beat Joshua on points. Whether we're gonna see that or not, hopefully we do, and then hopefully they go for it.
For Anthony Joshua to cement his legacy in world boxing history, he has to go against Fury.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has to.
So what would you say when Fury's team came out and said they're not accepting the immediate rematch with Wilder, they want 1 or 2 fights prior to that, and then they're going to fight Wilder? Some people saying Fury's ducking the rematch. What do you think about that?
I don't think he's ducking the rematch. I honestly don't. I think he's confident enough. He knows he can beat Wilder. I don't think he's ducking it at all. I think it's all mind games at the moment. You know, at some point this rematch will happen within the year. I expect it to happen within the year.
Wilder's a dangerous opponent. Like, there's no question about it. He's a rangy guy. He's a powerful guy. He's almost like supernaturally powerful for how he looks. He shouldn't be as powerful as he is, but he is. You know, not many people can do what he did to Fury, but at the same time, nobody in the heavyweight division can do what Fury did to Wilder, apart from Tyson Fury. You know, nobody can stand there and outbox him like that. Nobody can stand there and, you know, win convincingly, even though it wasn't given. Everyone knows he won convincingly. Nobody can really do that to Deontay Wilder. If Joshua and Wilder have a fight, it's a big old tear-up, fair enough. But Fury will stand there, and I think he'll win comfortably against both. I don't really think Fury would avoid Wilder, because that's probably his biggest payday he's going to get at the moment, unless they sort out something with Joshua, which is looking unlikely. But I think Fury-Joshua is the one that has to happen. Both guys are relatively young, obviously both well under 30. Like, I think it will happen. So let's hope it happens soon, innit?
Moving away from the heavyweight division, talk about light heavyweights. We've got prospects Anthony Yarde, Joshua Buatsi. What's your take on them two fighters?
In my opinion, in the light heavyweight division, the Bivol, the Russian fighter, is the best in that division. I think he will absolutely take out anybody. I think Buatsi is a better fighter than Yarde. I think he's a better boxer. I think if those two fought, Buatsi probably wins. But don't get me wrong, both are great prospects. But I think Bivol will smash that division for the next 5 years.
No, I can only agree with my friend here. I mean, Bivol is something we haven't seen in the light heavyweight for a long time. A long time. The movement, the speed is something we have not seen. I mean, I would love to see him against Yarde. I think that is the perfect matchup for him to determine who dominates that light heavyweight division for the coming years.
The rumor around is that Anthony Yarde will be mandated to fight Sergey Kovalev for the WBO title this year. What's your thoughts on that fight, and what do you think the outcome's going to be?
It's a good fight. Obviously, it's great for the British fans, and I don't know where it will be. If it's abroad, it'll be great for them to go out and whatever. But Yarde is in that really precarious position where he can only fight what's put in front of him. You know what I mean? Like, if they put in front of him Sergey Kovalev, and let's be honest, right? Kovalev is an unbelievable fighter. He is an elite level fighter. He is a top tier fighter. Is Anthony Yarde a top tier fighter? No. At the moment, he hasn't proven that. If he goes and beats Kovalev, don't get me wrong, that shoots him to the top of the pile. Is he going to do that? In my opinion, probably not. So,
I mean, the Kovalev fight, it would be a very difficult one for Yarde. It will be difficult. But I mean, whether he can overcome that, I mean, we'd have to wait and see. I mean, I hope for the sake of British boxing that he can overcome it and become one of the dominant fighters in that division. But I mean, only time will tell, you know?
If you guys could pick any 3 matches that you'd like to see before the end of 2019, what would they be? Start with you.
All right, we'll start with Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I'd probably then go... do you know what? I'm going to say one that's actually been made because I'm that looking forward to the fight. I'm going to say Jacobs-Canelo because I think that is an absolutely fantastic fight. And I'm absolutely buzzing that fight's been made because that is a serious fight. I think Jacobs can absolutely not only hold his own against Canelo, but I feel like now that Canelo's on DAZN USA, I feel like they're going to kind of feed him those Rocky Fielding fights, you know, where he's just going to win and win and win. But this is a serious fight. Let's make no mistake that Daniel Jacobs is a serious fighter. So I'm absolutely buzzing for that fight. And then the other fight I would like to see, I don't know, let's have a think.
For me, it would have to be Lomachenko come to the world stage, big time. Vasyl Lomachenko.
And who would you see him fight?
He's fighting Anthony Collar, but I don't really think that's.
He's fighting Collar, but
I don't really think that's the stage. But
is that a big enough test for him? I'm not sure. I mean, off the top of my head,
my third answer would probably be then Buatsi versus Yarde, because.
And who would you have in that fight?
I personally would have Buatsi, but I think probably most people would have Yarde, but I would have Buatsi. I think Buatsi's a highly acclaimed, skilled boxer. I don't think he loses his head. I think he keeps his cool. But like as much as I would love to see that fight, I think that fight needs to be kept until it's a world level fight. If you see what I mean, because they are both obviously unreal prospects. So there's a lot to be added for British boxing. It's going to be great.
2019 is going to be a big year for boxing.
You didn't give us your 3 picks.
My 3 picks, well, obviously, Joshua Fury, 100%. Lomachenko versus, I mean, Crowler is a decent fight, but I don't think it's up to his standard. So I'm hoping someone will come up from the lower ranks. I wouldn't be able to pick names off the top of my head. Yarde. I need to see Yarde put in a big shift this year.
Yarde Bivol would be good.
Yarde Bivol for me would be the one.
Thanks a lot, guys, for talking to Fight Fan Corner.